Hello, everybody. We are those guys you hate.
Welcome to the show that encourages you to be your best self by not being like us.
My brother and I hopelessly search for nuance as we wade through wacky segments and crazy conversations.
If you can withstand the insanity, you might actually learn something.
Tyler, what are you going to be chatting about with me on this week's show?
Ryan, on this week's show, we discuss the menace that is Cookie Monster.
What?
And what have those pesky Mormons gotten into now? More on that later. What about you, Ryan?
Tyler, this week on our pregame, I ask you, are aliens real? And then disagree with what you said. And
You did.
American shootings break into new territory.
Oh.
So we're going to talk about that. The rest of the show will be enjoyable, though. Here we go.
We're aging, Ryan. We are aging.
That is certainly true.
I recently went through something that was just the most innocuous thing ever, and yet it, for some reason, hit me right in the "you're aging" feeling. I got my first true dose of "you're not as young as you used to be, buddy."
I think that's really interesting because we've been doing the jokes about me being old forever, and you've always skated on them because you've been in your early 30s. But I think that you're right at that level here where you're about to fall over the waterfall.
Well, the one good thing I have going for me is you will always be older than me.
I feel like you're catching up. Do I have that wrong? We're going to have to go back and ask Mom because I don't know.
So she can measure us like our height
I'm
on
pretty
the
sure
wall.
when we were kids, I think I was 8 years older than you. But I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, as you know, I like to isolate a little bit too much. And so to put myself out there recently, I had the idea of maybe I should just create like an online dating profile, even though I'm fully aware of the, let's call them challenges for my ego that path presents.
Can I ask what the challenges are?
Just when it comes to my ego is when I start talking to, first of all these different options at once. That cannot be good for our slow monkey brains.
It's a buffet, a buffet line of people just trying to chat you up.
And I know 90% of you aren't real, or you have. I feel like they're bots just trying to get me.
I don't know how any of that works. It's Russia?
I don't know. Regardless, or an OnlyFans accounts. Not all of you need OnlyFans accounts.
But some of you do.
And how? And I was talking to my friend Kat about this, and she said, "I'm really good at this. Let me help you out. I can set one up for you. Send me some photos that you have, and I will build this profile for you."
That's cool.
And I said, "You send me some of the photos that you have of me," because she loves to take photos.
Right.
The photos that she sent me and that I sent her look like two different people.
Why? You took young photos of you?
I sent her about 4, and no, 3 of them were recent. But one of them I was in my suit. Another, the angle was perfect that as the light caught the side of my face.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
And she's like, "These don't look like you." And then she hit me with, or she didn't say they don't look like you. She said, "These don't look like the real you, like an everyday version of you."
Okay, that's an interesting perspective.
But then the 4th one, she's like, "How old are you in this? You can't use this photo."
There has to be some sort of a legal limit that binds people to a 6-month photo, because if this is you holding the Dolphins back in, 2012, I think that there's going to be an issue.
Well, the photo is about 6 years old, and I genuinely meant it when I told her this is just a photo that if anybody ever asked me for a photo of me, this was my go-to. It's one of my favorite photos of me. But apparently the time limit has expired.
It no longer represents the person that you've become. And I guess that's something that you have to keep an eye on.
And it not hurt me. I didn't feel bad, but it really hit me like, wow, I'm aging. I'm aging.
It is very weird. You asked me to think of something where where it made me feel as though I'm aging. You know what? And I had a different answer written down here, but I have an actual real answer. Watching my parents age.
Oh, that's a good one.
Watching my parents age, seeing my parents not be Superman/Superwoman anymore, them not being able to physically or even mentally do the things that they used to be able to do.
I was going to say, they're turning into kooks before our very eyes.
Mom's a bit of a kook. We would have to kook alert her, and it's not even about crystals, you know what I mean? But that's okay. She seems to be enjoying herself.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Dad about how he wanted to die.
Comedy podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a very, dare I say, important conversation to have with people as they approach the ends of their lives.
Now, when you say a conversation with Dad about how he wanted to die, do you mean the manner in which his life ends, or like today I want it to all stop? Like, which one do you mean?
That second one.
I hope I never have to get out of bed again, Tyler. This is it for me.
Basically, if there was a plug, I would ask you to pull it.
Dad, it's 4 a.m. What do you want?
No, I asked him, because he talked about somebody, I forget specifically who, somebody who had passed away just in their sleep, just boom, dead.
Yeah.
And so I looked over and I asked him, I was like, how do you want to go? And he genuinely thought about it. He considered it for a moment. And he said, no, just like that. I want to go in my sleep.
Who wouldn't say that?
Me, I don't want to go in my sleep.
How would you like to go, Tyler? Buzzsaw to the face?
No, I would like to be in bed. Obviously, my style.
Sure.
Lying on my back, comfortable as hell.
This is a little too close to home.
And surrounded by loved ones and being aware and awake. And when I go... they're not pushing me off a mountain.
Oh, we're still doing the fire, Tyler. Have I told you that? We're starting at the feet.
Yeah, like, holding hands with my loved ones and them being there with me as I pass on to whatever the bleep else is going on.
Man. So deeply traumatic for us. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for doing that.
My last gift to you. My name is Tyler.
And my name is Ryan.
And we are those guys you hate.
What is going on, you mother bleepers, and welcome to another episode of Those Guys You Hate. Tyler, my brother, my confidant, you son of a bitch. How you doing over there, man?
I'm doing excellent,
Sorry,
Ryan.
I called you a bitch.
Well, you called me a son of a bitch,
Yeah.
so technically you insulted my mother, which I will not stand for.
I was talking about dad. Everything's cool, Tyler. Everything's cool. Welcome to another show. Let's get right into it. Tyler, if I were to say, what is your favorite segment intro? What is your favorite sounder to a segment? Because I think I got it right here.
Oh, well, be like me.
Fuck you, Tyler. Let's do Ryan's Vault of Sound.
Ryan's Vault of Sound.
Off to a terrible, terrible start.
That's a good one. You know what? That's fair. That's a good one.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for trying to work your way back into my good graces. Tyler, we're going to do Ryan's Vault of Sound a little different today. Tell people how we normally do it. I think it's kind of evident, but just in case, what is Ryan's Vault of Sound?
Well, Ryan's Vault of Sound is where Ryan plays a sound for Tyler and the audience, and he gets a reaction out of us.
That's it. I found some audio that I think is going to do well on the show. Let's see if I'm right. This week, I am going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to tell you what the sound is, but I'm not going to tell you what it's pertaining to. I'm going to play it for you, and at the end, I want you to tell me what you think that this is talking about, okay? It is a warning. It is at the beginning of an audiobook, and I'm going to ask you, what do you think this audiobook is about? The only rule that I have for you is don't just blurt it out. I want you to kind of walk us through it, okay?
Easy. You got it.
Don't give me your answer until I ask for it, okay? Ryan's Vault of Sound. Here we go.
Limit of liability, disclaimer of warranty. The publisher and the author make no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents of this work, and specifically disclaim all warranties, including without limitation, warranties of fitness for a particular purpose. No warranty may be created or extended by sales or promotional materials. The advice and strategies contained herein may not be suitable for every situation.
Okay, so that's where we're starting, okay?
Sounds like they want to update me on my car's warranty.
Do you have a second to talk? So that's the beginning of it. What do you think there? Again, don't guess, but where does that send you?
It just sounds like a bunch of legal jargon, and it sounds like they're prepping to give advice, but they're also saying like, hey, in case anything happens to you, you didn't get this from us.
I didn't tell you to eat that battery.
Yeah.
You just thought you heard that. All right, here. Let's see if this clears it up a little bit more.
Okay.
This work is sold with the understanding that the publisher is not engaged in rendering medical, legal, or other professional advice or services. If professional assistance is required, the services of a competent professional person should be sought.
Now, again, this is at the beginning of a book that I purchased. I was not prepared for any of this. Yes.
Ryan.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to ask you a question. I need you to be totally honest with me.
It's not the Anarchist Cookbook.
You did not buy Dr. Oz's book, did you?
Neither the publisher nor the author shall be liable for damages arising herefrom.
Is there something going on with him?
Other than he is a fraud, a flim-flam man, a kook,
a snake
as
oil
it were,
salesman?
a snake oil salesman.
The fact that an individual, organization, or website is referred to in this work as a citation and or potential source of further information does not mean that the author or the publisher endorses the information the individual, organization, or website may provide or recommendations it may make.
Now, as you could tell, this is something extremely serious. This is something that shall not be played around with, right? I mean, there's CYA up and down this thing.
Well, it sounds to me like they're saying, we're about to give you advice. You definitely should not listen to this advice.
It's just like going to your uncle.
It's ridiculous.
All right. If you like the girl, you got to kick her in the thigh, okay? Okay, now enough playing around.
Okay.
Ryan's Vault of Sound. Tyler, you've been a great sport. I am going to uncover what this is talking about here with this very last clip. Are you ready? I don't want to give too much because obviously this is something that is terrible and is dangerous in the wrong hands.
I need to know.
Okay, here we go.
Further, listeners should be aware that internet websites listed in this work may have changed or disappeared between when this work was written and when it is heard. Chakra healing is a powerful art that can improve your life in every way.
It's a book on chakras.
What?
It's a book on chakras. What is it? Why are you going through my tax returns from 30 years ago? I just want to learn about opening up my what's the chakra in my butthole?
Oh, that's your root chakra.
Not my root chakra.
It's not your butthole, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little bit above that.
It's in the same neighborhood.
It is close.
So,
have you gone through this book yet? Have you made it through? Because I need to know if they're like giving you unhealthy practices to literally open the body where the chakras are.
Well, there's, certain, there are chapters on opening it up and moving spiritual energy, and there's chapters on making a Molotov cocktail. So, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
So it is the anarchist cookbook.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Tyler. All right.
Got to appeal to millennials.
Isn't that weird, though? Isn't that such a strange...
That's a lot.
Like what you said, you would think it's a book pertaining to like home surgery, and it's talking about a metaphysical quote unquote science.
Interesting.
When things confuse me, it makes me confused. And we'll talk about it on the Depression Index.
Nailed it.
Say I'm wrong, Tyler.
No one cares. You
What
don't know
the
what
Depression
to do. The
Index
world
is
has
a machine that I built with my hands, and we crank it up to let you know how our chi is flowing. Tyler, how's your chi flowing this week, brother? And also, could you clean that up? There's a little puddle underneath you.
Pretty good, man. My chi is a-flowing.
Yeah, you seem like you're in a really good mood today.
Yeah, I'm getting better. My theme for this week, session 158, is alcohol. And something that
I
used, I'm a big fan of it. That's kind of the problem.
I noticed that, as a matter of fact.
I've used it for a very long time to suppress the quote unquote pain, whatever it is that I'm going through. If I'm having a really bad day, which I think is very common. I had a bad day, let me get a drink. I think that's ubiquitous throughout culture and society.
I think America, around the world, I think is built on that. Alcohol is built into our societal norms.
Absolutely.
Like sports.
Absolutely. And so I will go and have drinks to suppress the pain, so to speak. I just want to distract myself, so I'll go drink. But then it turns into a few days in a row, and I realize that the thing causing me the pain is the alcohol. Yes, Ryan?
I have thoughts on this because I'm a raging alcoholic, Tyler.
Not raging.
Oh,
Not
yes.
raging.
I suppress it, but Tyler, I am raging.
He's giving me the eyes.
And my thought is, when I really want to drink, is when I'm in a place in my head where I want, and I'm oversimplifying it here, but follow me down this path. I want someone's acceptance, or I'm not feeling good enough about myself. So my mind is running laps, trying to figure out how to gain these things that I want. A sip of a drink in my mind slows that whole process down. All of a sudden, all that shouting and that melee that's going on in there,
oh yeah,
everything is cool. 1 to 2 drink Ryan, peaceful as a lotus blossom. You know what I mean?
Hey, whatever you want to do.
3 drink Ryan
man.
will cut your legs off.
Sure, but the 1 to 2 drink,
sweetheart,
sweet man,
lovely man, lovely man. 3 drink Ryan, spit in the holes of the legs that have been ripped off.
Oddly specific. Oh yeah, this is Depression Index.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, what were your notes, by the way?
That was it. That.
Oh, okay, good.
That it turns. It's,
yes.
It is your solution
Yeah.
that then becomes your problem.
Yep.
It's an actual solution.
Yeah, so I didn't drink last night, and I woke up today and felt a noticeable difference. So while I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm giving up drinking forever, I am going to do my best to be more aware of it. And especially since I have quit my testosterone treatments recently, I have to be very careful with it because alcohol produces estrogen in the body.
How about that? Now, were you not aware of it before? Like you're
Aware of
saying, just what we're discussing. You're saying moving on, you're going to be aware of it. I think you were aware of it before. What's going to be different now?
Well, I know that alcohol...
Because I have this problem too, Tyler. Fix me.
We rationalize it to ourselves that, oh yeah, I may feel like shit, but it's not the alcohol. It's because of this that's happening in my life. Without realizing it, that this thing is fueling these negative feelings.
And it's usually it's a confluence of all of those things. And when you drink, you're not getting the same kind of sleep. When you're not getting the same kind of sleep, dealing with your problems becomes so much harder.
Absolutely.
Which makes you want to drink, Tyler.
And that is the cycle where I find myself.
And the solution.
But it's, stay with me here, buddy.
Me, you're right.
Stay with me here.
I branched off. You're right.
No zigging in this one. Yeah, and so it is incumbent upon me to realize that no matter how bad I feel in this moment alone, that for me to go out and drink that I really want to do right now in this moment, to do so will be hurting me more in the future.
Sure.
And make a decision based on that. Will I be perfect? No, because there's no such thing as perfection, but that is the heading that I'm on, and that is the site that I have my eye on, and I'm going to follow that as deep as I can.
Here, brother. I support you.
I should have said as far as I can, not as deep as I can. I'm not trying to have sex with it. Unless it'll let me.
As of now,
consent is cool.
Let's not make. Jeez, I mean, this is a podcast for 2023 if I've ever heard it. Tyler, spin that wheel.
Right, I'm on a 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nasty.
And I was really bad a couple days ago. You know what I did? Meditated. Brought me from like a 9 to like a 3.5. It was amazing.
It's really crazy how your body fights meditating even though you know that it's going to make you feel better. It's really crazy how your body craves drinking even though you know it's going to make you feel worse.
Frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Big Macs are delicious, Tyler. Get up. Tyler, I'm going through a breakup. Have I mentioned that to you?
Yeah, I've heard it a couple times.
Sure.
I listened to the show.
Oh, really? Gets the show. And it's really made me reflect on things as we've discussed in the pregame. The pregame, you and I warm up, we record it, we put it at the very end of the show, 30 seconds after. And I have noticed something that I would like to talk about here on the Depression Index. Do you support me?
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. I am having trouble accepting something. I believe that right now in my life, instead of fighting things, instead of pushing back, instead of trying not to be what I've always been, it's time for me to accept things about myself and become okay with them. Dare I say, love these things about myself.
For a moment, I thought you were going to bring something up about me. To hear that this is something about you really makes me excited. I would love to hear this.
No, it is.
Is it about me?
Do you want it to be, Tyler? If you give me a second, I could write something up. I am having trouble accepting that I am not always cool. I am having trouble accepting that I am awkward sometimes. I am having trouble accepting that I don't always say the perfect thing. Sometimes I say something and it's dumb and people look at me strange and I want to jump off a cliff, and I am having trouble accepting that, but I do accept that. It's okay. My vulnerability, my quirkiness, it's cute. It's what makes me me, Tyler. Being perfect all the time, saying the cool line all the time. Mm-hmm. Nobody trusts that guy. You're too packaged. You're too produced.
For sure. And no such thing as perfect, as you just alluded to.
I'm so close.
So if you just keep trying.
Tyler! It's so close.
Don't give up now.
That was the thing. I was just right there, Kobe chasing Michael. But
and each one of those moments when we say something awkward and that feeling, that spike of something
Is anybody
comes
else's
up,
face hot? Is anyone else's face hot?
That is not only a chance to be able to laugh at ourselves and laugh with others, but also a chance to work on ourselves. When that feeling comes up, instead of hiding away from it and we run and hide and we pretend like it's not there, or we try to fight it off and push it down,
sure,
let that shit come up, man.
And
let it come up.
Be nice to that person.
Yeah.
You're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to say the right thing. You are a nice person. Don't beat yourself up. That's where I'm at, Tyler. I am not cool. Often.
Good for you.
And that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So this week, I am at a not cool 3, Tyler. Woo! 1, 2, 3.
You think you're better than me?
How about that, Tyler? How about that? All right. This one's going a little long, so let's just dive right into it. Thank you, Juice, for that piece of art. I love that so much. Tyler, have you opened it yet?
I have not.
Okay, before you open it, what Drew Got Mail is where I send Tyler a visual. It's the opposite of, Ryan's Vault of Sound. What don't you fucking get? So you got mail. Tyler looks at a picture. Deal with it. Now, Tyler, this is... I'm sorry about that.
Goodness
I'm
gracious.
Sorry.
You're going to burn yourself out by the time we get to the end of the show.
Tyler, I had a rocky upbringing. Now...
Kind of true.
I just found this out recently, and I'm having trouble accepting that as well. Tyler, to close the loop, we have talked for the last couple of weeks about Leisure Suit Larry. What is Leisure Suit Larry, Tyler, other than the foundation of what my life is built upon?
Leisure Suit Larry was a game back in the day, and maybe they're still making them. Who knows?
I would play Leisure Suit Larry right now.
Well, just for the gimmick of it, just to see how ridiculous
still like sex,
it is.
Tyler, I'm not that far off of where I was when I was a kid.
And it's a video game centered all around this like loser guy and you play mini games and everything just to pick up beautiful women. And the first game came out when it was like 16-bit like pixels.
What did we say? It was like 1987, I think.
It was in the
first
80s.
one came out.
Yeah. It was like a text-based adventure with boobies.
It had a floppy disk, and you could write your own joke to that one. And I'm glad that you said that, Tyler, because that brings me back to where I want to go. Because every time that you and I talk about something from our past, especially something along these lines that is sex-driven,
It's pretty much everything.
It always goes back to me joking about being a preteen or a teenage boy and discovering my body, and it upsets you. And I don't want to do that. I want to talk about Leisure Suit Larry. I want you to see the images that are on there, and I don't want to delve or fall into low-hanging fruit, Tyler. I don't want to do I had a masturbation addiction, but I beat it. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that.
Well, thank God you're not doing it.
Because this show is going to be better than that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. We're going to grow as a show, is what you're saying. Good. See, we are growers and showers.
Tyler, just go ahead and look at the pictures. This is science.
All right. Can I just mention that it's unfair of you to paint me in that light? I don't get upset that you talk about it. I just do happen to acknowledge that you force those stories on the audience often as you can.
I know what you're doing. You're trying to bait me into saying jerking off addiction is a viscous cycle, and I'm not going to say that. Look at the pictures and let's move on. All right,
here's my first one. This is 3D, so this is obviously one of the more recent ones. This is Leisure Suit Larry. He's got a big old noggin on him, and he's there with a topless girl.
They're actual.
I easily would have gotten off to this as a young child.
Tyler, scientific. You could have reached orgasm as a young man. None of the jokes about jerking off with your feet because things are getting out of hand. I'm not going to allow that. So they do have a nude mode on Leisure Suit Larry. You're looking at it. We have closed the loop here, Tyler.
Yes.
We're, much like with my fleshlight, we have told the complete story.
Do you want me to pull up the other two photos or?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. The other one is.
I don't have any other masturbation puns. So we could just finish this off.
Well, this one is, her.
Oh, wait, I do.
Nip slip. Yeah, I got it. It was very good. It was very good.
And the last one.
And then the last one is Leisure Suit Larry naked in a bar with his tiny little ding dong out.
His little schmeckle, Tyler. His little schmeckle.
Look how cute he is.
Now, Tyler, do you want to?
Too bad he's attached to Leisure Suit Larry.
Do you want to do your oof? Do you want to?
Yeah, we can do oof.
Oh, you're in charge here, buddy.
Let's do oof. And what oof is when something happens in the world that just makes you go ooh, oh.
It's where somebody has done something that's cringeworthy, as the kids are saying. Do I have that right?
Very well said. That's exactly right. Ryan, do you know the name Scott Adams?
Not off the top of my head.
He is the cartoonist who created Dilbert, Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sparked an idea in my mind. Sure, Dilbert, very famous, I believe almost ran parallel with like Seinfeld, not just in timing, which it was, but also in the people that found those two things funny. It's a 90s comic strip that became very popular.
World over.
Yeah.
And he, as you said, it became very popular in the 90s, and he has been doing that comic for decades.
Commentary on office life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he has joined the future with the rest of us schlubs, and he started a podcast.
Okay.
this week.
It's just him like drawing stuff?
No, just him. Just him.
All you hear is scribbling noises?
Just him talking into the camera.
Well, I don't want to step on your dick.
And this week he said this, Ryan.
So if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed.
I got good news for him. White people are trying to do that already. I mean, that's been going on for quite some time.
Well, they shouldn't have brought black people here in the first place.
Redlining. It's a dangerous joke, Tyler. Oh. That is a pretty crazy statement to make openly.
Yeah, to call the people that are black, who identify as black, all of them, a hate group is pretty strong terminology. It's pretty strong words.
And that he's advising that all white people get away from black people. I don't even know how that works. Like, what are the logistics of this?
I believe segregation is what he's calling for again. Yeah, we did that at one time.
Have we tried that?
We need double the fountains, double the parking spaces,
Sure.
double the bathrooms.
Doublemint gum.
Do we have the infrastructure for this?
You know what?
It's
Actually,
too much.
I'm sorry. How many pools do you want me to make? I just can't do it.
So, Scott Adams, I got to give it to you, man.
I mean, that's a douche of the week.
Wait a minute. There we go.
Perhaps my least favorite thing on this show. I like that a step below Scott Adams. That's bad. And you know what? I will say this, and this sounds like shtick, and perhaps it is. I have trouble delineating between those two things. I'm glad that people like him are dumb enough to not know to keep that to themselves. Tell me that you feel that way. That's good, so I can avoid you. You are the person that needs to be avoided. You are the person that needs to be kept away from.
And I understand what you're saying, but there are so many people out there, or enough, that identify with him and what he's saying and the idea of behind his words.
You're right.
And not only that, but now, and I talk about this all the time on this show, now that they have the technology to now connect, because these people were relegated to the corners, the fringes of society.
You're right.
And now they can just group up.
But is there not going to be any sort of retribution for this? Is there not? I mean, that's
sure.
You can't say that.
His strip was pulled off of thousands of newspapers across the country.
No, not Dilbert. Come on. Chick-fil-A chicken is delicious. Let's not, throw the baby away for the cart. What's that?
Throw away the baby in the bathwater or something like that? I know what you're shooting for.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm worried about the cart too, but we'll talk about that off air.
I'm really upset you just brought me into your mistake, because now I sound like an idiot.
Tyler,
I sound like an idiot.
Embarrassing yourself. All right, Tyler, let's go gather up as many Dilberts as we can before they're all gone, and then we'll come back and read them to the audience. What's going on, everybody? Ryan Menendez here. Now, I know that you're such a fan of this podcast, you already know it, but part of this advertising is me explaining shit to you that you already know. Buckle up! So much of this podcast is based on me being a total kook. Now, a bunch of people have reached out to me, and they have let me know that they want to be a kook too. Now, this isn't something that you just stumble on. It doesn't happen by accident. You gotta put in practice. 10,000 hours, am I right? So what you need to do is read the books that I read. Now, what we've done is we have signed up to work with Audible so you can read the books to become a kook like me. THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com. Now, here's what Audible wants. They want for you to go over there and get a free book that I'm offering you so you can read, you could get on board, you could sink below the waters and end up in the same place that I am. And what they're hoping is that you'll get that free book, you'll sign up, and then you'll forget to unsign up, and then they can charge you at least once, okay? You know it, I know it, we all know it. Beat the system by breaking that contract before that happens, or stay with them and continue to learn and grow and flourish like a big boy. So if you go to THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com right now, all of my reading recommendations are there. You could sign up and get the book for free, and then you have 30 days to cancel your membership, and you don't get beat on the deal. You know you won't because you're lazy. That's why you haven't moved out of your parents' house. We love you. Thank you for supporting Those Guys You Hate, and let's get back to the show.
Those guys.
All right, Tyler, I'm just going to throw this at you as we go for a little break. I know more about physics than Isaac Newton ever did.
You hate.
I'm going to say no, you don't.
Of course I do.
No, you don't.
He didn't even know what a freaking atom was, okay? I do. I went to school with an atom.
What's an atom?
An atom is just it's I don't have to prove myself to you.
That's a
weird, Sir Isaac Newton.
Weird example to go to.
That's not how conversations work. It's not a test. This isn't tests, my Haitian. This is a conversation. You're being a dick.
Those guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate.
Red circle.
Tyler, give me your first word that is fun to say, but it means something bad.
Fistula, Ryan.
What is fistula?
Fistula, to me, it sounds like a scientific name for an exotic flower.
It's a flower.
Fistula.
Is it tulip that we're both getting? What is fistula?
A fistula is an abnormal connection between two body parts, such as an organ or blood vessel and another structure. Fistulas are usually the result of an injury or surgery. Infection or inflammation can also cause one. Fistula, Ryan.
So you just looked these up because I've never heard you say fistula in your life.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you just meant find 3 words that are fun to say, but...
How about this?
Okay.
Mesothelioma. Right?
Sure.
Mesothelioma. It's fun to say.
Sure,
Everybody... Oh, yeah, the wordies are a bit wordy, Tyler.
It's a bit wordy, Ryan.
Mesothelioma. All right, what else you got?
Phlegm.
Yeah, phlegm.
Sounds
phlegm.
like an old instrument. He
Sure.
played the lute, she played the harp, I played the phlegm.
You remember you used to be babysitted by phlegm? Remember that?
And phlegm, for anybody who doesn't know, is thick mucus that forms in the throat and chest when we get a respiratory infection.
All right, how about this? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude is good.
Schadenfreude, the German word for finding enjoyment in someone else's misery.
But from your perspective, that is good. It just happens to be at the expense of another person.
Which is bad, I think, on the moral compass of how society should run.
It's not how Schadenfreude works.
Number 3.
And finally, smegma. Smegma,
I think
Ryan.
it's schmegma. I think it's a sh sound. Schmegma.
Oh, they spelled it S-M-E-G-M-A.
I could be wrong.
Sounds like there was a scientific name for a state of matter between magma and lava.
Okay.
It's not magma anymore, but
Sure.
it hasn't reached lava. It's smegma.
It's a Newtonian liquid. Unfortunately, I had a teacher in my middle school named Mr. Magna.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Mr. Magna.
His
yes.
name wasn't Steve by any chance, was it?
I don't know, but he went by Mr. Schmegma.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately for him.
And for anybody who doesn't know, the schmegma is the oily, cheesy substance that can form around a man's foreskin.
Sure. Make sure you always pull back and clean up.
Yeah, very important.
And finally, for me,
Absquatulate.
Absquatulate?
Absquatulate.
What's that?
that is when you steal something. If you take something, you absquatuated with it. How about that?
You're just being frivolous
I'm
and
just letting
a
you
little
know.
too much.
Tyler, you have absquatuated my heart. Let's go ahead and let's what else do you have? You have GBI?
I have GBI, yep. And I know we still have that weekly book nook that you wanted to do.
I'm gonna add one on to GBI. I'm gonna throw an extra I in for savings on what I want to do. So we'll just go ahead and we'll do weekly book nook now.
All right.
Book.
Tyler, what is weekly book nook?
Weekly Book Nook is a segment that we do not do weekly, and it's very rarely about a book, although we are smart, I promise.
We'll see.
And we recommend, or in Ryan's case, probably tear down a product that we're using or a show that we're watching or music that we're listening to.
What I am going to talk about today, I am not happy with. I do not.
I rest my case.
I do not recommend what
Rest my
I am going to
case.
talk about, but let's not start with me. Tyler, go ahead. Tell me what you got. What are you reviewing this week?
Ryan, this week I am reviewing The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, as read by one Mr. Andy Serkis.
Okay. You've discussed this with me off air, and I've asked you to stop doing that, but go ahead.
Please listen to me.
Tyler, it's all content. Don't talk to me unless it's content.
It has been fantastic. As you said, I have already told you about this, but I had to tell anybody who will listen to me because my wall doesn't cut it.
Shout it from the rooftops, player.
Andy Serkis, he's already read all 3 books, the trilogy, and he does all the characters.
He is the one-armed bad guy from Black Panther. You know him. He's that
Claw.
Awesome villain from Black Panther, the first one.
He's amazing.
Really excellent.
And he's also Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And he, as I said, he does all the characters. He brings them all to life. The man is supremely talented. And for anybody who has been wanting to listen to the audiobook of Lord of the Rings, or if it even has piqued your interest even just a little bit, I highly recommend. There are 2 versions. Make sure you get the one with Andy Serkis because he crushes it.
That was your problem, wasn't it? Is that it was an old, like I've been trying to listen to Lord of the Flies for a very long time. It's referenced all the time. I like to have that information when people talk about classics like that.
It's very short.
The only one that I can find was made in 1846, and it's the guy's wearing a stovepipe hat, I would imagine, while recording it on a microphone the size of a Buick.
I was going to say, before they had microphones. Interesting.
He was some sort of a time traveler. I'm not sure how it worked. It's so bad you just can't listen to it. I want the information, but I can't get it like this. So they've fixed it. They have updated it, and you love it.
And it's incredible.
Okay, that's awesome.
I highly recommend it.
Okay. Well,
and for anybody that this pertains to, anybody who understands what it is that I'm saying right now, Tom Bombadil is the most annoying fucking character in any book I have ever read or listened to. Fight me. I don't care what you guys think.
Wait a minute. Bombadil?
Tom Bombadil.
Words that are fun to say that mean something terrible.
Wait, what is it? It's his last name. Why does that mean something terrible?
You seem to be pretty upset about old Bombadil.
His personality, the guy sings everything. Just talk to me like a normal fucking person.
I think it's Andy Serkis who's fucking this up for you, Tyler. All right, this week, I am going to be doing something a little bit different than you are. Now, this isn't a streaming service. This isn't a movie. This isn't any of that stuff. But I think everybody will know what I'm talking about. This week, I am reviewing sneezing while eating a hard-boiled egg, Tyler. Sneezing while eating a hard-boiled egg. Terrible. It's terrible. It always happens in your car. It is a projectile explosion, and it's disgusting. You got to go around with like a Swiffer sweeper and clean that shit up. I do not recommend it, Tyler. Sneezing while eating a hard-boiled egg. You know what I'm talking about?
First of all, unbelievably niche.
What do you mean?
Unbelievably niche.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
No, I don't.
No?
Nobody eats hard-boiled eggs at the rate that you do. It cannot be good.
It sucks.
There's got to be something going on there.
So bad. But with that being said, don't sneeze while you're eating them. It's disgusting.
And second of all, I feel like we're getting away from the spirit of this segment.
Well, what I like is that sometimes it's a book, sometimes it's a magazine, sometimes it's an automated response of your body. It's, you know. I didn't like it, Tyler. I didn't like it. And
so you wouldn't recommend it?
Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're going to eat a hard-boiled egg, pinch your nose. Weekly Book Nook. I'm just trying to help people, man. I'm just trying to help people. Sorry that we don't all just talk about frivolous crap. Sorry I said that.
Should I just do GBI now?
Your segues are incredible this week, Tyler.
Just somebody take me to GBI. Please, whisk me away.
There's no place like home. You've never sneezed while eating a hard-boiled egg?
Never.
Huh.
Never. I've had probably like 9 or 10 hard-boiled eggs in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like them?
No, not particularly.
They're not good.
I like them scrambled.
They're not good. They're I don't know. Just they're a little. They're heavy. I don't like. Anyway, yep. I eat them.
GBI, right?
Every day I eat them, Tyler.
GBI. We're at GBI to get away from what you're talking about.
I sneeze a lot.
You're dragging it in on the bottom of your boot. Wipe it out there. GBI is a segment, Good, Bad, and the Interesting, where I pick 3 news stories and deliver them to Ryan and just get a reaction, I guess.
Let's do it. And keep in mind, I'm adding a story on. So Good, Bad,
Perfect.
Interesting, and Ryan.
GBIR.
Geber.
Ryan, for this good,
it's my eternal pleasure, sir.
we get to say, what the fuck?
Really?
Japan?
Wow.
It's a silver lining story. Japan is poised to raise the age of consent to 16.
What is it right now?
13. So I'll say good on you, but also, what the fuck, Japan?
Interesting.
In all seriousness, when I come across stories like these, it really does make me realize how far we may have come as a species, but also how far we have to go. Technology has really given our species an overinflated ego of how advanced we are. But then I hear this shit and I'm just like, we're still doing this?
So what do you think that 18 is the right age? What do you think is right?
I genuinely thought about this while I was writing this segment. And the thing is you're going to get a different answer no matter who you talk to. I don't know if 18 is the right age. However, I feel like I know that 13 is definitely the wrong age.
I'm not totally convinced.
The wrong age, Ryan.
Okay, I can tell by the way that you're picking up in tone I should chill.
I just am scared for you
right
now.
I have a question, and I'm glad that we're talking about this. I hope you don't mind me intruding
No, please.
on GBI.
It's not intruding.
Another news segment that happened this week that I was unaware of was Karl Malone. My son told me about what's going on with Karl Malone. Do you know what it is?
He impregnated, I believe, a 13-year-old while he was 19 and in college.
Now, here's the thing. When RJ told me about that, he was saying, with the All-Star break, it was in Utah, and there was all these crazy things surrounding Karl Malone. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know anything about Karl Malone. What are you telling me? And he said, there was like a statutory rape case with a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I said, holy crap, that's crazy. When I found out that he was 19 at the time, I then said, not as bad. It's bad. It's against the law. Not as bad.
Yeah.
He fought against that. He says just as bad. I don't think that it is. It's still illegal. It's still worse. Maybe I shouldn't.
Well, I think what you're alluding to is the perception of it. No matter what, it is wrong.
Sure.
It doesn't matter what age you are, it is wrong.
Right.
The perception of it, I understand what you're saying. When people are closer in age, it makes it easier for the brain to digest. But if the child is 13 years old, it is wrong.
Yeah. I guess I got into an argument over
perception.
And not just perception, it's nitpicking when really it's all wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was bad, Ryan.
That was bad.
And so is this.
Nice.
On your mark, get set, terrible.
Mormons, Ryan, specifically the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, the SEC has alleged that from 1997 to 2019, the Mormon Church hid its investments behind shell companies and failed to disclose that it had amassed roughly $32 billion in wealth over those 20 years.
Wow, man. They got a running feud with Scientology.
That's a lot of cash.
Dude, that is probably the best business to be in for making money, right? A church?
And you don't get, absolutely, and you don't get taxed.
Tax breaks, baby.
Now, Ryan, you get to be the arbiter here. What do you believe is a fair and just fine for this crime?
What crime?
Amassing $32 billion in wealth and then hiding them behind shell companies for 20 years and not paying a single dime in taxes on it.
But if they're a church, I thought we just said they don't have to pay taxes.
But they didn't even claim that money, which is, as far as the IRS is concerned, no bueno.
What should the penalty be? I don't know.
The fine. You're allowed to give them a fine.
$31 billion.
I like where your head's at. Well, the SEC fined them $5 million, Ryan. Yes.
Now, I think I've said this on the show before, not great at math. 5 million out of 31 billion.
32 billion. 31 was your number.
Oh, you're right. 5 million out of 32 billion. That's about half, right? Do I have that correct?
It's very close, but I actually have some numbers here to put it into context.
Go on.
Because you say 50%, you're just a little off.
A scotch.
Okay? That is 0.00016%.
And how far is that from 50-50?
Additional context. Say you, Ryan, amassed wealth of $1,000 and you were hit with the exact same fine percentage-wise.
In scale.
The total amount you would pay is 16 cents.
That's not half. That's a little bit less than half.
No.
You know what? When you give me these stories of people in power behaving inappropriately, it doesn't even shock me anymore. I mean, that's $32 billion. That's it. You guys aren't molesting kids like the Christian church. You guys are fine, man.
I'm sure they're doing that too.
Oh, are they?
I don't.
Shit.
I'm not breaking news here, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That's how they make most of their money.
The last line for this is businesses have another term for this. It is just called the cost of doing business.
And the problem is, and again, unsubstantiated finger pointing. The people that are levying the fines are part of all of this crap.
Correct.
I mean, they are part of the system.
Yeah, it's basically the system fining the system and investigating itself and going, we have found nothing wrong here. Or at least 16 cents out of $1,000 worth of fines. Interesting, Ryan.
Let's do it.
That's exciting.
That motherfucking Cookie Monster. A menace.
Cookie.
Correct, a menace. Well, the Santa Cruz Police Department, California, you heard of it?
I have. CRUZ.
They have literally put out a warning for citizens in the area. Beware, this is true, of a man named Adam Sandler, not the same one that you're thinking of, who has come out dressed in a Cookie Monster costume.
Except?
No, and has been terrorizing. Well, terrorizing might be a little difficult, but he started the day that Lloyd Morissette, one of the creators of Sesame Street, died back in January.
Okay.
A month ago, when Lloyd Morissette died, Adam Sandler, put on a Cookie Monster costume and has gone out to the pier and almost every day since has annoyed the shit out of citizens.
What do you mean by annoyed the shit? That's not illegal. I've been doing that and they haven't put me in handcuffs yet.
While cops say Sandler hasn't committed any crimes, he does have a history of unpredictable, vulgar comments and troublesome behavior. So just imagine being on Santa Cruz Beach. You're trying to enjoy yourself.
Sure.
You're there with your lady or your fella.
I'm wearing roller skates. Nothing else.
And Cookie Monster comes out of nowhere and just starts cursing at you.
This is somebody with a mental problem, yes?
I am not willing to give a diagnosis.
I am.
It could be a
Mental
troll.
problem.
Could be a troll, Ryan.
Yeah.
Lots of those out there.
That's weird. And he picked a beloved character at the same time that the person who created the character died.
Correct.
It's a whole Charlotte's Web of strangeness, Tyler.
So look out for Cookie Monster, Ryan.
Sure. And Bert and Ernie, because, you know.
Yeah, one of them's yellow. He should really be checked for sepsis.
A bit jaundicey, brother. Could you at least sit next to the window?
And that Ryan.
Wait, up.
Oh.
And
goodness.
And the Ryan.
Time for our Ryan.
Tyler. Orlando shooting. Did you hear about it?
I did. This one's a pretty wild one because of the twist.
Sure. Keith Melvin Moses. If they give your whole name, you know something has gone awry.
Yeah.
Keith Melvin Moses, who is allegedly a gunman in Central Florida who killed a woman and left the scene. Okay? Nothing too new about that. That's something that happens all the time. Yeah, unfortunately, of course. I'm not even laughing here. This is terrible. He then, this is where it's something different. He returned to the scene later and shot the media people who were there reporting on the murder that he had committed earlier, then fatally shot and killed a 9-year-old nearby and then was arrested. So
out of all of that horrific, terrible behavior, my question would be, why the 9-year-old? You get in the news, you already killed the lady, why the child?
Push it to a more extreme. I mean, that's the killing of an innocent, I believe, is the most extreme, form of murder that you can commit, right? Same thing with like molesting a kid. It's that it's a kid, you know?
Yeah. I would say probably murder is even worse simply because there is no chance of healing there.
Sure.
But we're just splitting hairs.
Yeah.
It's really terrible.
So, and I don't mean to bring this up so we can, any sort of entertainment. It's just like we're now pushing the parameters of violence in this country and, third generation business, Tyler.
And that's the thing, is that people are going to keep wanting to outdo each other. That's how this works. And so they're going to continue to evolve, and like this, we're eventually going to get to a point where there's like Saw-like puzzles that people are going to have to start figuring it out.
The keys behind your eye, Tyler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's people wanting to outshock the last person that came before them.
Well, it's like the spree killers and the public shooters. They're all trying to rack up them numbers, dog.
Yeah, and they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're doing
So,
it.
and that is the R and Gibber and...
Oh my God, don't ever add that to my segment again. That was depressing.
Yeah, the world's not good, Tyler, and we need to tell people...
No, it's good. It's good. Besides that Cookie Monster, it's good.
1 foot in the grave. I hope they're not the same person.
Society is 1 foot in the grave?
Sure.
Good thing we have about 16 billion others.
All right, Tyler, go ahead and turn that down.
That's a good point.
And then tell the people how they can reach out and touch us.
Go to THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com, click on the links. Go to each individual service and subscribe because we need your support. We need your love. We need your affection. It is how we survive.
And we can't produce it on our own.
No,
you know what I mean? We've been trying, but we can't soothe ourselves. Tyler, what is the moral of the story?
Oh boy, I didn't have anything for this. The moral of the story.
Luckily, you played it off without anybody noticing.
I know, I'm magic like that.
Improv.
The moral of the story is, like this Cookie Monster menace, and I'm being serious. I'm being serious when I say this. If you are having a down time in your life, if you're going through something difficult, please do your best to make sure that you do not put that pain on others. That pain is your responsibility. Don't take it out into the world and make it other people's pain, other people's problem. That's right.
But if you do, make sure you wear a costume.
You
don't want to be found immediately.
Yeah, you don't want anybody knowing your identity.
This guy's on a run, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps it up. And he's doing the little kid thing of when you tell them not to touch something, that they just put their finger right next to it.
I'm not touching it.
I'm technically not doing something illegal,
right?
But boy, am I right next to it.
Yeah, and I'm just making people not want to be around this town anymore. Cookie Monster, knock it off.
But I mean it when I say, let's not take our frustrations and our anger and our issues out on others. They don't deserve that.
Isn't that what all the problems in society are? Or people not dealing with their own shit, generally speaking?
Yeah, that you could boil it down to that. That's for sure. Ryan, what's the moral of the story?
I'm going to stick with something that I accidentally just said. I believe that a great thing to focus on while trying to evolve, while trying to become your best self, is what I just made a joke about: learning to soothe yourself, to soothe yourself. This kind of goes back into almost everything that we've talked about. Your drinking issues, the way that you talk to yourself, all of these different things, learning how to soothe yourself, feeling these things that you feel and being like, it's okay. Talk to yourself like you would talk to a roommate or a friend or a brother. Hey, it's all right. This sucks right now. I know this hurts, but everything's going to be all right, man. We'll wake up tomorrow and we'll feel better. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I may not be perfect, but it's going to be better than this, you know? And that is a superpower that I have never had, and I'm slowly getting a taste of it, and it's pretty nice.
And don't forget, I love you.
I also love you pieces of shit.
Because remember, Ryan is love. No,
no, Tyler, what?
Ryan is love.
No,
and I am
not. I'm raging, hating, and puppy dog tails.
One of these things doesn't belong.
Is it the hate?
And no, I was telling other people to say I love you to that voice.
Sure.
I'll also tell you that I love you, but also say that to yourself.
Sure. And we do love you. My name is Ryan.
And my name is Tyler, and that's not how we end the show.
And here's how it goes. We are those guys you hate.
Be kind or we'll kill you.
I fucked that up, but I love myself. In a
red circle
in a drawer, and I never used it. It's quite utilitarian. It's something that I could use a lot. Opening boxes, doing this, doing that. You never know how much you could use it. Brought it downstairs. Got my initials on it.
Okay,
that's pretty cool, isn't it? It's a little knife that I got for.
That means we'll know if you stole it, audience. Which one of you took it?
RBM, Tyler. That's unfortunately my initials in this world.
That is unfortunate.
So, I got it for being in a wedding party.
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they lock you all in a room and ask you to fight to the death?
They didn't ask us to. Yeah. We just took it upon ourselves.
Sure.
Tyler.
They didn't even lock the door. You just started attacking everyone.
There was no door. It was a public, so nobody else knew what was going on. Tyler, I'm ready to do the show, gosh damn it.
Okay.
You think I could get that started, gosh damn it?
No.
Why?
No, because what you're actually speaking in place of is God damn it. And if you're already so angry in order to say that, nobody is going to revert to gosh.
Gosh damn it.
It just doesn't have the same punch to it.
It doesn't carry the same weight because you're like, I'm so mad at you. I am willing to challenge the earth and the heavens themselves to yell at you. But when you're like, do you remember when we tried to get started where you used instead of mother effer, you used the letter for the good word and we were calling people M-fucker?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
We had a couple of those.
Yes, that is B shit.
You S of a beat?
Yeah.
S of a bitch? I don't even remember how to do it, but damn, did we have a good time. I'm
Nailed
ready
it.
for the show, gosh damn it. And we're going to do it. Tyler, I am going to actively put something on this show. I'm putting it into the show in a place that I hope that no one will ever hear it. What do you think about that?
Please don't put it into the show. It's been through enough.
I am.
I don't think she could take it anymore. Please don't give it to her.
I'm just warming the show up. I am going to put something in the show in a way that I'm hoping that no one will ever hear it. What do you think of that as a podcasting idea? That's meta as fuck.
I think it's also terrible because we want everybody to hear it.
But not this. I want you to listen to everything except for this one part. Do you remember the book? There's a monster at the end of this book with Grover from Sesame Street.
Vaguely, sure. And it like built up to him throughout the book.
But he didn't know that it was him. And he was doing everything in his power to stop you from going to the end of the book because he was afraid of monsters. He taped it shut. He nailed it shut. He did all sorts of light construction that I'm not sure that he had the permits for to stop you from getting to the end of that book, Tyler. Spoiler alert on it being him.
Oh, man, I was reading that.
What page are you on, Tyler? 6 or 7?
It really makes you think. Huh?
I will tell you this.
Worried about something and you get to the end and oh my God, it's me.
Grover, I believe, was of the Buddhist faith and he really
nailed it.
Sure. He sat by under a tree for 40 days. In
a trash can.
It was one of...
Sorry.
That's Oscar.
Oh, that's true. Wrong person. Wrong Muppet.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
You're right. Just a normal...
My mistake.
What I was going to do there is I was going to be like, I care so much about Sesame Street that I am now going to berate you. Don't give a shit about Sesame Street. Yeah. It's just a factoid that you made a mistake on.
Yeah.
I accept you.
Yeah.
So
this character belongs in the trash can.
It was my first time. Stop pointing at me. It was my first time, speaking of meta, thinking of like this book that's referencing being a book and talking to you. I remember thinking like, I really like this. This is something that really attracted me as a kid.
Yeah, you like books that talk directly to you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you really do. Like Stephen Colbert's I Am America. What is it? I Am America and So Can You.
So good. And you know who else did that is, what's his name? That's on Lebitard all the time. The How to Be Perfect. Mike Schur.
Oh, yeah.
He did that, and they did it in an audiobook format so that it would give you a ding, and then he's talking to what he was just saying, and then dong, and now he's back into the book. Nice. Worked really nice. So I am going to put something at the end of this podcast, which I'm asking you guys, not the end of the podcast, but at the end of this pregame, that you guys, I'm asking you as a favor to me not to listen to it because it's going to be very embarrassing. I'm going to expose a part of myself that I'm vulnerable about. I'm going through a breakup, Tyler, and I'm learning all sorts, which is coinciding with my midlife crisis. I'm having a real problem, Tyler. It's a confluence of things.
Well, you just hit me with a lot of information. Me. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Let me ask, though, what is the statute of limitations on going through a breakup? How long are you allowed to milk that shit
I'm not even talking about Nicole. I'm talking about Chelsea.
Jesus, dude.
What?
It's been years.
I can't work.
That's
Tyler.
ridiculous.
I'm talking about the first time we got together.
Well, you got a lot of work to do, my friend.
This is the thing, is that when you have these, what are the milestones in your life that make you, whenever it happens, really go through some deep introspection? For me, it's always been breakups. I look at our family vacation photos and I think about that time of my life based off of the woman that's in the photo with me. And for me, I think you know this about me, that relationships have been, some would argue, too big of a part of my life. So breakups for me were always such a big deal. Abandonment issues, Tyler. Heard of it?
Yeah. Been there, done that.
I got that. Fun.
Yeah. He actually does that time. That's true.
All I got was these scars. So we don't joke about that, Tyler. So basically, I'm going to put something, at the end that's going to be embarrassing. Tyler.
What do you want me to do? You want me to shut my eyes? You want me to close my ears? You want me to take these headphones off?
Definitely plug up some hole on your body, but I need you to be there with me. Tyler, sure. I don't mean to just lob this at you because you're not like a jukebox of information, but are aliens real?
Are they real? I think mathematically, yes. Are they here?
That's not a fact.
I said mathematically.
That's not a fact. That's still a guess.
Yes, I didn't say fact. I said mathematically. I think they exist, but I can't point to something and say absolutely.
Has the government said that aliens are real? I believe that they have. I think that the what's a government entity? The FBI,
NASA,
sure, and they.
I think that the FBI's jurisdiction is a little bit more domestic, Ryan.
It's not in the Bahamas, like you said. I think it's over in Quantico
on Mars.
Yes, I knew it.
They really broaden their horizons over there.
So I think that in the middle of quarantine, in the middle of all of these things, did you hear that guy that was on Lebitard the other day?
I did.
That guy did nothing for you. He
was very interesting. I don't know why you said that.
What did he say?
He was very interesting.
Tell the audience.
Well,
regurgitate a different podcast.
Why don't you tell the audience?
Because you retain information better than I do.
Ah, well, you got me back with the compliment.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're smart, Tyler.
He just came on and talked about the possibility, if not from his perspective, seemingly fact that aliens are here and the government knows about them and refuses to tell us.
No, he's saying the government is saying yes. If I retained any little nugget, he's saying that the government is releasing information that's saying yes, this is true. Yeah, and they are. I believe that government officials, pilots, all sorts of people are coming out and saying yes, that's it. Aliens are real.
The problem,
deal with it.
The problem is that we deal with the videos that you're dealing with are spaceships or saucers are moving through the air.
It's Sasquatch-esque.
Yeah, but it's not just that. We don't have, when it's only a vehicle, it could be a drone from a different country and we just don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean it's extraterrestrial. If you have proof of an actual alien, that I would very much like to see.
My least favorite X-Files I've ever seen. I hate this.
You brought me here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm just an extra.
I'm Mulder. I'm just telling you that right now.
Oh, no. Wait, but he's got a crush on Scully.
Right. I'm Mulder. That's it. All right, Tyler, I am going to end this pregame, unless you have anything you would like to.
Hold on, let me get prepared for your thing. La, la,
La,
la,
la,
la,
la,
la, la.
I've never seen somebody plug their ears through headphones.
Actually, so I could hear it better. I pushed them into my skull.
Wow. I'm going to tell you a quick little story, because like I said, and the reason why I'm, not for some reason, I think when you have a big life change, where I've lived in a room with this person for a year and a half and that changes, you start looking at your life differently and you start questioning yourself. Hey, does this work? Is this working? And I'm going through a lot of that right now. And and overall, I think it's a really good thing. Talking to Casey, one of our closest friends, we've had her on the show before. It was so bad we cut it the whole thing.
We cut the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
That is a true story.
Yeah,
that's what she's famous around here for.
Yeah.
You know, teaching disabled children with the heart of a saint. And being so bad, we had to completely cut everything that she did.
And at one point in her life, being violent in ours.
She got a little Jägermeister and she liked to slap. Is that a crime, Tyler? Is slapping people who don't want to be slapped a crime?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Really?
Yeah. I believe the word for that is assault.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Jaeger is not a defense,
Tyler,
right?
I've got to make some phone calls.
More of an offense.
Yes, and what is the best defense, Tyler? A strong Jägermeister offense. So I am talking to Casey, whom I love, who has a heart of gold, and tell me if you find some sort of where you see a little bit of this in yourself. You and I are not like this in this manner, but she all of a sudden, she's like, oh yeah, I went with my friends and we did this and we had a hella good time, no big deal. So we go on and blah, blah, blah. And then about, 3 minutes later, she said, oh man, and it was hella fun. Now in that scenario, my personality type is to feel, to point out this idiosyncrasy that you have done and be like, hey, so is that like the word of the day? What's going on with hella? Is that something that you have picked up along the way? That's something I've always done. My personality.
Sure.
Kind of a dick. So, and she's like, explains herself. Oh, I don't know. I just, whatever. Like how you told me you called that guy a bro twice in 30 seconds.
Oh, it was more like 12 seconds.
For whatever reason, I noticed this time, in a way that I don't really think that I ever had before, the feeling of the conversation changed in terms of she wasn't upset, she wasn't mad. All of a sudden, I felt like she was walking on eggshells and thinking about what she was going to say, and she didn't want to say hella again, and and it completely changed the flow of the conversation. And I realized that's not a great character trait. And that's not something that I particularly like. I don't want to do that to people. That's a hole in my game. If I feel bad, or whatever, I shouldn't put that on someone else. And that's something that I'm interested in changing, something I noticed.
It's a great observation, great introspection. I feel the same way with when I used to be as they call them, grammar Nazis, where somebody would misspeak on whatever word it is, and our mom being an English teacher really hammered that home for us. And so I would correct people, same exact thing. It's not a cool thing to do, man. Just let people be who the fuck they are.
And it's not necessary.
Nor is it necessary.
It's quite self-serving.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of that in me too, and I have also let that go. And so as we crawl towards the end of this, what I have recognized is, and something that kind of got into, I don't know, that got into my parlance, that got into just the way that I don't think I was like that as a kid, where I would just, I don't know, I go after people. The way to feel good is, and this wasn't particularly vicious, this wasn't like a horrible thing, but it just totally got me out of, by doing that, it changed the feeling of the whole thing, and it's something that I want to get out of, and I am now going to say the thing that I don't want anybody to hear because I'm embarrassed of it. I don't, it's something that I recognized while following this path, and I'm going to say it, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say that in order to do that, what you're describing, what is happening is we're in the middle of a conversation, and instead of paying attention to the conversation that we're having, you're focused more on the words that specific words that I'm using, and now you want to comment on that. It's not only everything that you said, but it's also like, are you like not even listening to me?
Sure. You're totally right about that, and that's I guess that's an angle of this that I hadn't even considered, you know? We were just having the conversation about the conversation that goes on in my head can sometimes overshadow our actual conversation. So with all that being said, I'm going to say the thing. I'm very nervous, Tyler. Are you there for me?
Yes.
Are you there for me, Tyler?
Yes.
I need you. I feel nervous energy.
My brother whom I love very much. I hope this isn't embarrassing for me.
All right, here we go. I'm going. So the realization that I had while thinking, almost I would say meditating on this situation, I realized. Are you ready, Tyler? Here we go.
Just do it already.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Tyler, I am love.
Ugh.
That's it. We're done. We're going to the show.
Ugh.
I know. That's it. Go. That's it. I'm serious. When I am feeling just good and I am being loving, my energy flows freely. That is who I'm supposed to be. I am love. All of this, all of this that is calcified over me over the last couple of years is not me, man.
Do you not hear the Coke alert?
Sorry. Respect. Sorry.
Coke alert. Coke alert. Coke alert.
There we go.
You are love. Congratulations,
I am
buddy.
love. I am love. When I'm in the gym and I'm like stern faced and I'm stoic, no energy is flowing. When I'm and I have a big smile on my face and I'm being who I think I was when I was a little kid, when I was not afraid of being kind to people. I was very kind.
And being goofy in front of people.
And being goofy and being just ridiculous and weird.
Yeah.
I stopped being weird and I started being cool.
That's what I'm trying to do now too. I just want to be my weird self. I don't have to force it. I just want to be weird.
I used to think that my version of weird was cool as fuck, and now I'm embarrassed of it. And
it's not embarrassed. It's a lesson.
But I'm saying
a powerful lesson.
I'm saying up until this point, up until right now, all of a sudden I had this realization that anyway. We'll keep going because I kind of have something more about this in the show.
All right.
I am love though, Tyler. So
all right.
I want you to know that.
Oh, name dropper.